I want to appeal to the Speaker of the National Assembly and the Clerk of the National Assembly. When I heard the news that the Speaker had written to Honorable Mundubile, the leader of the opposition in Parliament, I thought it was a joke and that it was just social media, propaganda. But now I've confirmed that indeed the Clerk of the National Assembly replied to Honorable Mundubile's letter in which he was complaining about Honorable Chabinga, a rebel MP, who everybody knows that he has been a rebel MP from the time he went into Parliament. Mr. Chabinga has identified himself with the ruling party and he has been attending public rallies and all meetings convened by the UPND, including caucuses of members of Parliament. For Mr. Chabinga to claim that he's leader of the opposition clearly confirms that the issue of the Mao Sampa behavior is sponsored by the UPND. I want to tell the UPND that you may think that you are winning, but actually you are actually messing yourselves up. Ichibemba chitila lesangale fokufunya abantu mu maka nangule sangale fokusebanya omuntu alamulo wechilafi. The Easterners said that lesa afuna they say what? Afuntisa muntu ngati afuna kumuchosa pa mpando. And this is exactly what is happening to our colleagues in the UPND. Nampapata sana ngakuli abakwete amano mu UPND. Tell your President HH to stop this issue of Mao Sampa and the PF, because it is actually messing his reputation badly in the face of the international community and of course in the face of well-meaning Zambians. Surely, Clerk of the National Assembly can respond to Mr. Mundubile in the manner in which he has responded, stating that he had received communication from Mr. Ngona, the Secretary General of the PF, to the effect that the PF has appointed Mr. Chabinga to be the leader of the opposition in Parliament. You were Speaker, you were Clerk of the National Assembly, you should resign. Clerk of the National Assembly, you should resign on moral grounds. You are not fit to be Speaker of that honorable, to be Clerk of the National Assembly of that honorable house. We were being told that the previous Speaker was frustrated, so that the current, the previous Clerk of the National Assembly, Mrs. Zambia, was frustrated, so that they could install a stooge who was going to do things according to the needs of the executive. And today I've proved beyond reasonable doubt that indeed the Clerk of the National Assembly we have today is a stooge of the current government and the UPND party. Insoni ebuntu ba clerk. Insoni ebuntu. You know that the matters are in court. The matters are in court. The PF is challenging Mao Sampa with evidence that what he held as a National General Convention is not within the parameters or the provisions of the PF Constitution. How can you accept a letter written by Mr. Mao Sampa before the matters are concluded in court that Mr. KAMBWILI has been replaced. And I can rest assure you that dictatorship that is in West Africa is coming to Zambia under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. Because now it is clear that all state institutions have now been compromised by President Hakainde Hichilema and these advisors and this government. This is very bad for democracy. I want to put it on record that I've been in parliament for 3 terms. I've been in parliament for 3 terms. And when you are appointing the leader of the opposition, you meet as a political party and your members elect who is supposed to be the leader of the opposition. And at no time has anybody interfered with the appointment of the leader of opposition in parliament. It is happening for the first time. You are just, excuse me, clearly showing the people of Zambia that you are thirst for power and that you are a very insecure government that knows that the people of Zambia have lost faith in you and you want to destroy the opposition. But I can rest assure you that you will not destroy PF. Chavinga can never, ever, ever, and I mean never, ever be leader of the opposition coming from the PF. Because first and foremost, Mr. Chavinga, at the time of his purported appointment, was serving a suspension. How can a lawyer behave the way the clerk of the National Assembly is behaving? Baneli Muti, you have got an integrity to protect my sister. Stop this. Stop it. Stop it and stop it. I have said these issues must not be addressed with emotions. But I think if Zambia, that we are serious. We are a very docile nation that can be taken advantage of. Elon UPND, let me tell you, you were not elected in government because you were a popular party. You were elected in government because you were the only alternative. The people that voted for you are not your members or your supporters, are just people that were frustrated because of 1 or 2 mistakes that we made as PF, which we sincerely apologize to the people of Zambia, because we forced you to make a wrong decision because of certain mistakes that we made. And when I said Hakainde Hichilema will be the worst president that this country has ever seen, people insulted me. But today I have been vindicated that indeed Hakainde Hichilema is not a Democrat, does not mean well for this country. Because if I were in his shoes as president, I could have advised Parliament, I could advise the police to stop what they are doing to the PF. Honorable Sampa, my brother, you think you are on top of the world today, but this will end in tears. This will end in tears. Clerk of the National Assembly, withdraw that letter you've written to Honorable KAMBWILI, because that letter does not have any legal backing. Does not have any legal backing. My dear brother, that young man Chavinga is not leader of the opposition. Even if you go by hierarchy, a member of the ward executive committee. He's not a member of the constituency executive committee. He's not a member of the provincial executive committee. How can you pick such a person who has rebelled against the party that sent him to parliament? and recognize him as leader. You are only showing us that you are being partisan. We don't expect that house to be partisan. The deputy speaker has been partisan. Presiding officers have shown to be partisan. Naiwa's clerk, who is supposed to be the advisor to the speaker, and all presiding officers to be partisan in the way that you've written that letter. You are all going to answer to posterity. And I can assure you, my brother, clerk of the National Assembly, that it will end in tears. I mean, people learn from what is happening, from people who made wrong decisions. Cases as far back as 2018, 2017 are being brought forward and people are appearing in courts. So imoba clerk imwe. Your abuse of authority you think you survive. Now if I'll make sure that I end this idea of following up people. But certain cases, people must answer. People must answer. For instance, today we are seeing the compensation of people that do not deserve it. We are even reliably informed that one boy who was a member of the PF, the member of NDC, is boasting all over the country that is going to be compensated with 2 million for a case in which he was beaten by Kampiongo in Kitwe. It is all over. He has gone boasting all over that next week I will be given a check of 2 million. We have agreed with the Attorney General for them to compensate me. I don't want to mention name, but people of Zambia, you see very soon that some boy who was in fact very critical of President Hakainde Hichilema, who was even using abusive language towards President Hakainde Hichilema, today is boasted. He has sent messages all over that is going to be compensated to the tune of 2 million for a fracas that he had with Honorable Kampiongo. Is that the way you can handle people's money? Is that the way you can handle people's money? Ukwambo kufolesha abantu for supporting you. Ukwambo kufolesha abantu for insulting other people. Alensoni ebuntu. Na muse bana ba PF, ba UPND. Na muse bana ba Hichilema. A child was killed by the police in cold blood. He was only compensated with 500,000, but the people that were detained with President Hakainde Hichilema have been compensated 6.4 million plus 1 million legal fees each. What is more, losing a life or people spending 127 days in prison? Mwebena Zambia wukeni. This is a failed regime. These are people who have come to make money. There are scandals in this government. You've heard about the issue of the agro-fuel, where a certain minister cancelled the tenders and awarded a contract to one particular company to supply fuel and be the sole company to transport fuel through the Tazama pipeline, diesel in particular. And then some of you are standing and said, Hakainde Hichilema does not condone corruption. There's been call by the Transparent International Zambia that this minister must be suspended. I remember very well, President Hakainde Hichilema used to call for all the ministers that were being investigated to be removed from government, suspended from government. Today, a minister who everybody knows that is being investigated for the agro-fuel scandal is still working, and the president is not saying anything. People of Zambia, you are being taken for granted. People of Zambia, you are being taken for granted. Please rise and speak. Tell them that how you are running the country is not correct. This idea of wanting to destroy the Patriotic Front using Mao Sampan Chavinga is an open secret that even a 2-year-old child can know that if into apa ta feel straight. Ndeni umfilo luseba UPND mukapwa ngesaka lya pamwinshi mwalimu nesaka ngabeka pamwinshi abantu bale kumwinapo ifyo lipwa na mukapwanga loko ya muchibi elonga mlemo noko but the 2.8 million abami votele still have the confidence that they had in you when you lied to them that you reduce the cost of milling, when you lied to them that you reduce the cost of fuel, when you lied to them that 10 hours you are sewn in and 14 hours the dollar the kwacha will gain the kwacha will gain against the US dollars. Abantu bali ya Hello Imova Vincent P that you are okay with UPND muli chipuba. How can you be okay when you are buying milling at 350 when the rate of the kwacha to the dollar, which you were promised that will pick up by 14 hours, is now going at 22 kwacha, almost 22 kwacha, and say you are okay? Is it because you are being given some contract or a grant from CDF? Echo abantu batila ubupuba tawakwata muti. I can advise you to search your soul. Search your soul. UPND is a failed project. Accept. If you don't accept, by the time you realize, you'll be in the ditch. I want to thank all of you that are saying this is a failed regime. Forget about our Kennedy. Ba Kennedy balefira nokulanda sanemu yawo. Pantu na abeshiba ngabalanda sanemu abantu bala abeshiba who he is. Moneni bane ngatwaleba ati mu PF mwali tribalism. You cannot fight tribalism by applying tribalism. It doesn't work out that way. You are supposed to live above board and make sure that the correct thing is done. So ngapali abaleba ati if you bale chitaba PF bali fye bwino buwele weli obukalamba sana. If you are a clerk of the National Assembly is against the norms, is against the provision of our Constitution, is against the provision of the Registrar of Societies Act. Then you feel semweba munyinane pantuko muleya nikuchidindi efe twale bana ba MMD fifine tabale umfa efe na ba PF bale tuweba abantu tatwale umfa na imwe bene ba UPND mwaingila mufintu fimofine abantu bale mibepa filifye bwino abwero mukalusa ama elections no mukalalila tabakabeko abo abale myebati mulifye bwino ni abo abantu bamoba mupelo tuma contracts bamoba mupelo tuma favors bale mibepa fie bale liafye na imwe. When the day of reckoning comes, they will not be there. Na mpapa ata mweba mnyinani, do the right thing. Mwebe na Zambia imeni mulande ngefile landa ba Trace from Pundu, ba Bishop Trace from Pundu. Ngefile landa Raula Miti na bambia vano abantu Transparency International Zambia na fueba lelando kwa batlekeni ifye formule chita. Mweba mninane na mpapata. Nishimi pati leba UPND. Alande mchita kwa fair advice. Lekeni ifimule chita. Chavinga te leader of the opposition. Tapali aba mchitile vote. Tapali aba mchita point. Mao Sampa is an illegal and failed project. God bless Zambia. Chishimba KAMBWILI signing off. Thank you very much.